And good Saturday morning to everyone. Well, the snow threat is over. We'll look at a few pictures of what went on in the neighborhood overnight and see what happens. The big news of today that we want to point out is do not forget this. It'll happen tonight, and tomorrow will be all messed up for you if you don't remember this. But tonight is Spring Forward. Make sure to take care of that. Most of us still have those clocks that automatically do that, but a reminder for you. It'll have you a little off. Somebody's always early to church when this happens. Fall back. Now, this is Spring Forward, so you'll be late. Have to get my ducks in a row. Spring Forward. Make sure to move an hour ahead. And it makes you wonder, most people really want the daylight savings thing to go away. Pick one or the other. Most would probably agree they would like more daylight hours with that and just leave it there. Don't know if that will ever happen, but boy, it sure would be nice. As you're waking up right now in the Meridian area, it's 34. The further north you will go, the chillier it will be. Right now, we're sitting at 34 at Key Field in Meridian. So that's quite nippy as you begin your day. Laura Lee says she'd like for it to stay. I agree with you, girl. Cold. We can't stress. We're going to get into the weather here in just a little while and explain to you just how bad tonight will be. You've got a few hours before it turns to where you just can't handle it anymore. Our high today is only going to be 43, but tonight we're going to dip into the 20s. And I urge you by all means necessary, if you've got a home that is elevated, and that could either be a mobile home or a house that is built up, that's not on a concrete slab, make sure that your pipes are wrapped as best they can. Check on the elderly in your neighborhood if they're not expecting this. We've had a bunch of 80-degree weather. Not expected. Make sure that they're okay. Also with this, don't forget, even down to horses and cattle, but your pets, whether it's a puppy dog or a kitty cat, they don't want to be cold either. Take care of them the best you can if you can't bring them into the utility room or whatever it is. Make sure they got hay. Shove some blankets, whatever the case may be. They get cold just like you do when you go outside. So help a friend out there because it is bad chilly out there. We want everyone to be safe and warm and all of that. One of the new things that we continuously do, we got a lot to talk about this morning. If you let me show you this on my webpage. We've started something new for first responders. How many of those guys do you know and ladies that are first responders? Whether it's a cop, highway patrol, a fireman, whatever the case is, someone that works ambulance, emergency. If you'll go here, we just started this. We got a few of these folks that are already on this, and we'll tell you more about it. But you go to our webpage here, and this is Sam Media, SAMEDIA.network. If you come over here, and of course, we've got all your arrest reports and fire runs right here, emergency responders, folks that have businesses on the side that also are first responders. We've got 4 loaded up here: AJ's Mobile Detailing, G&G Stump Grinding, Al's Garden and Gift, and RW's Hunting Supplies. These are folks that are first responders that go above and beyond for you. We'll be adding to this list of people that own businesses that have this, but it's a way of recognizing the first responders when you need something done around the house. They're there to help you. Whatever that may be, painting, carpentry, pressure washing, whatever the case is. There'll be a lot of different businesses added to that on our emergency responder page. And as always, if you'll come here, you'll catch the latest weather. This is a backup. And I say as a backup, we've always got all the headlines, news stories, and weather, and you can even watch us live here. If you'll look at this here, this is another way if you get shut down on certain social medias, and well, you can't do it. You can click there. That's the live stream. If you click that, it goes live. I also invite you to our YouTube page. I posted a way to do that. A lot of times you get in the jailhouse. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and you just can't do anything. So we've got several ways as we build to make sure that you're able to watch the show, and we do want that. Keep up with pets and all types of different things there. The latest for the headline stories. Well, how are you today? I hope well. As we begin our Saturday morning, I'm out of coffee. I've got to go get my cup refilled. I'd like to thank my neighbor who gave me that cup there a year or so ago. Appreciate that. As we begin this, we say, Terry Carter, how are you? Good morning there. Brianna Gordon joins us. Glad to see you up. JT is there. Kay Nestor. Miss Watson, how are you today? Hope you're feeling well. Roy is up. Connie Johns, good morning. Kathy Spence, as we turn to Decatur to see those. And Loanne Moore said, take care of those fur babies. I agree with you. They love you when nobody. And you know what happened the other night, and I guess everybody else is guilty of this too, as I ramble before we begin our hard news. I was having dinner. And you just give in to your dog every once in a while. Who else does that? I think Angie had made some roast, and I was about 3/4 the way in it. And then the old paw came up on my leg, wanting a bite. And I didn't move. So she got a little closer. She inched. And before long, she had her head in my lap looking up at me. And I gave up. And I just gave her my paper plate and let her have the rest. I give in. I'm such a, I don't know what the word is. I give in too easy to my pets. They're just like us. They have feelings like you, as we said. April Rogers says it's 10 degrees where she is this morning. To Jetta, how are you today? Glad to see that. And you'd like more daylight hours as well. You just get more done. It's almost a depressing thing. You get up early during these times when the time changes the other way. It's dark when you go to work. You get off, it's dark. You come home, and it's like you go to bed and go back to work. It is depressing. It just seems like your life is shortened by that. I guess we could be in Alaska this morning, and it never goes dark. Except that how many times it's a few days there that stays dark for a few days. I don't know much about Alaska, but there you go. Lily Hampton. Yes, we got snow too. There you go. A little bit of snow around the area. Let's look at this. We turn to Kemper County, one of the first places we go to, and I'll show you what the dusting is all I see on this. And we pull this up right there. That's kind of how the scene was. I looked outside here, and we didn't get all of that much here. I think it was a little bit, I know on radar, I got several texts from my radar system that it was coming through, but it was very light, melted very quickly. Now, the further north you go, it's a different story. Let me pull up the Mississippi Department of Transportation. I don't know if you've looked at this. Here's a look at what they've got this morning. As we look here, some different scenes around the state as we look at this. And again, North Mississippi, that's pretty thick, isn't it? Mississippi River Bridge there. Wow, it's pretty, isn't it? I like that. Let's see what else the Mississippi. I want to say that they listed some pictures from Tunica in that area also. This is going to be Marshall County. I want you to look at this. This is serious snow here. Yeah, you don't see that scene in Mississippi much, but it is there. They had a little bit. So, hope you enjoyed it. I don't think most of us here in the East Mississippi side got very much. It was some dusting, as we said. And the further east you go, we had horrible weather last night with the thunderstorms and threats of tornadic activity out there between Georgia and Florida and those areas there. We think about them when we go through those because we've all been through those as well with that bad weather. Now, as we begin to talk about a few things that happened yesterday, we go back to I-20 early yesterday morning. I know that a lot of you were hung in traffic last night, but let's talk about what happened yesterday morning, bright and early. This was in the earlier part of the day. This was I-20 West. Let me pull this up where you can see this. This was an 18-wheeler fire. And this guy, and if you'll look at this as they come along, let me pull this down where this volume isn't so loud. But as you come along here, you're going to see where the truck is. They've just pulled this out of the woods. Right there, that truck was off in the woods there. And as you pass by it, you'll see here it's completely burned. There was absolutely nothing left of that vehicle. And what the good news of that is this would happen before 7 a.m. yesterday morning. The good news about that is there are good Samaritans in this world. There was 3 people that saw it. They jumped out of their car and ran over. He was trapped in his 18-wheeler, and they were able, between the 3 of them, to pull the steering wheel off of him and ease him out before the entire truck went up in smoke and in fire. So that a boy to the people that helped out with that. You can't say enough for good caring people that help you during your time of need. And again, that was over near the Jackson area past Forest where that wreck happened yesterday morning. He was taken to the hospital and okay. That's good news there. As we come across, there was a lot of rumors yesterday, the Quitman School District, about maybe a shooting at the school. We've got this posted on Sam Media also if you want to read more about it, and I'll pull this up so you know what you're looking for here. This is the letter from the Quitman School District addressing the matter of possible gunshots. And it was a rumor, and they go into explaining all of this that did not happen at Quitman High School, but they'll explain that. If you want to take a look at that, again, you can go to the webpage there. It's one of the top stories that you can read more about that, but it didn't happen, and they address it so that family members and parents will know more about that. And as Laura Lee said, she loves those kind of people that'll help you out. It's important to have them in our society. The next thing, and I won't go very deep into this because it is such a touchy matter, but I did put this on Facebook yesterday about police presence on Highway 39, and I had several people going, does this involve schools? No, it did not. This involved someone taking their own life yesterday morning in a car at an apartment complex, Highway 39 North. Presumed to be, I don't have the exact age. I'm not sure all family members have been contacted, so I won't go into much more detail than that. But the man was, I think, around 60 is the best that we can tell. But he committed suicide by a firearm yesterday morning. Sadness with that. It's so sad that anybody would take their own life. We think about that. But that's what that was dealing with when I put a police presence. Always concerning. We never want to put something out that family members have not been contacted and they know first. And that's why I handle that way. As this develops and we're 100% sure that everybody's been notified, we will pass along more information on that. But a sad news for our community for that to even happen. As the day progressed, I got a note that said there's something going on I-20. Traffic is blocked up. Well, this is where we begin, and let's go back to the webpage here. As we pull this up, it was an accident on I-20. Cleanup continued through the afternoon hours, and let's look at a few of these pictures here. This is the scene. This truck was carrying frozen chickens, and what happened? Let's take a closer look at this. This is the view of this down through here. It went off the road here. This was at mile marker 131, just past the split going toward the Jackson area. It was a wreck. Traffic was backed up all the way past 22nd Avenue on down the interstate. And I think it even went further the late the night went. It never made it. They were hauling chickens, as I mentioned. What happened was there was a blowout on his left front tire, lost control, and the truck ran off the road and flipped. Very fortunate on this matter. He was bruised up pretty bad. His son was with him also. From what I understand, he has been released from the hospital, doing better but banged up, but him and his son are okay. So thoughts for them as we look at more pictures of what the scene was like there. And this is it as you pulled up on it. As you see the 4-lane, and there's the truck down in there. And we come across and look at a few more of these pictures. Down in the woods it is. A closer look at that. As you can tell there, it peeled the roof of the truck back. They were fortunate to have made it out of this wreck with only skin up. That's a closer view there of the wreck there of the truck of where it went off into the woods there. So thankful. Now, as I mentioned, also with all of this last night was heavy traffic. Let's pull this back up. This was the scene. This is 22nd Avenue. And all the way back, nearly covering all of Meridian, traffic was backed up. As it slowly progressed, it would be somewhere right around 10 o'clock that everything would be cleaned and wide open again. So if you were caught in that traffic, that's what was going on last night. I got several remarks. People wanted to know what was going on, and that's what happened. It was at a standstill. If you had to go west, it was moving, but very slowly. But in the end, it was fortunate that they made it out without being hurt tremendously. You give thanks for that one there, to have gone through something like that. And thankfully, no one else was involved in that. It was a single vehicle accident. Now, let's move on to what we would call one of the biggest headlines that rolled out of Meridian yesterday. and that is the bolo that was sent out of a wanted person. As we all know, there were murders in Newton County. It's been very little released on this. We finally got the names of the young girls that were murdered. Again, we pass along condolences to their families there of what happened in Newton County. And there's a bolo out for a person of interest. Now, we don't know much more than what it is saying as a bolo and person of interest. He is wanted in connection with the murders of these two ladies. They haven't given us any other details other than that. And let's pull this up and go back to the webpage to take a look at this as we pull this up this morning. Austin Harrell is a wanted person in the double homicide that occurred there in Newton County. This is what he looks like. Get you a good look at that, and we're going to show you some more pictures with this also. If you've seen him, and this is presumed to be his girlfriend, Shauna Reynolds. They've released both of these pictures. If you've seen either one of these folks, make sure to call MBI. You can call the Newton County Sheriff's Department as we roll down. That number to call, 635-2101, the Sheriff's Office there in Newton County. If you've seen him or her, that could connect them. Here's a different picture of him. If you'll notice the tattoos there. I don't know this man personally. Maybe you do. Let's take that's a way to look at that. But several different pictures, ball cap on. You don't quite see, as you'll see that cap there, it covers up those tattoos. So we could have a ball cap or a hat like that. Today being cold, it would be easier to hide that. But that's who they are looking for. Hopefully I'll be caught. We'll find out more about what the connection is with that. We don't want to accuse anyone jumping ahead, but it is in connection with the murders. It has not been point blank said. I'm not sure what they know. The FBI has got a tight lid on this. Now, as you read into this, could it possibly be in the Meridian area? I know that they have been looking in the Meridian area and around. You happen to have seen them. Know that I had several people report to me that they did see MBI easing through Meridian and neighborhoods searching for him. Again, at this point of the day, he has not been caught. As we get more information on this, we'll pass that along to you also. But again, that name, Austin Harrell, is who they're looking for, person of interest. We'll keep that in mind. We'll be right back. We've got more coming up, some more headlines as we'll take a look at the state, and we'll also get into what's going on with the weather. Don't run off. We'll let you know exactly what's going on.
The back porch of Meridian is now open on Highway 19. Anything outdoors. Grills, fryers, pellets. And all grills come with free assembly. Whether you're looking for a cooler or custom woodwork. Plus local beef, milk and ice cream from Beeson, products from Cyples Mills, spices, and a whole lot more. And don't forget to check out the She Shed, where you'll find authentic Louis Vuitton purses and more. And we can't leave out the spoon fudge. The back porch, Highway 19 North Meridian. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville are passing along these great savings this week. Cuties or Halos, a 3-pound bag, $6.99. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, 18-ounce bottle, 2 for $3. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. Brine sliced bacon, 12-ounce package, $3.99. Certified Angus beef chuck roast, $4.99 a pound. And select T-bone steaks, $7.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
And a big thank you to H&H being a part of what we do every day. And there's so many more. We can't say thank yous enough. As you'll watch the screen there, a lot of our folks that do that, and we got a lot more joining. It helps us get by with this. We got a note there about power outages, and let's go look at this of where we are this morning on EMEPA. Remember, there are several. This wind is going to probably knock out some more power as we move through the day. I had a note last night just off State Boulevard Extension, back in there off of. Let me see where that was. That would be off Oak Street. A tree blew down last night, knocked out power. It was a live power line on the ground. They came out and fixed all that. As we pull this up this morning here, this is what we're looking at right now with EMEPA, 296 outages. And let's go in and take a look at this and zoom in a little bit closer. We've got some areas here, 166 people. We'll zoom in on this and take a look at this. This is going to be out by Dalewood. Right there, 166 people in the Dalewood area this morning without power. You can come here and take a look at this, and it'll tell you this. And we'll look at the list of the counties. And let's move over, and this is also going to be on this side of the county in the Collinsville area this morning. Oak Tibby, 130 people right here without power. That's a heap of folks there. They'll get that back on. And what you will see happen once they get that power turned back on, it will be transformer, whatever was damaged, it'll go quickly of getting a bunch of people back up. As we look at this in Lauderdale County is what we've got this morning. All of this, 296 people are without power right here. And again, that's Pine Springs Road where Peggy is saying that she doesn't have power this morning. And quite a chilly morning to be without power. And as we'll get into the weather here in just a moment, as I said, make sure you got some extra blankets and things of that nature tonight, as we'll be getting into the low 20s. 22 is what we're expecting. And if power is knocked out with these trees blowing, and we're going to have some wind today, that could be bad in the middle of the night. So we'll talk more about that here in just a moment as we move toward our weather forecast and check things out. As we go across the state and look at a few other things that happened, I want to bring that up, and then we'll come back to a few other things that have happened locally overnight in our area there. Vicksburg, boy, that's been a happening place yesterday. 2 were charged with murder and the stabbing of someone in Vicksburg. That happened there. Vic's woman is dead, and 2 people were arrested for that. That happened on Thursday night, but they did catch who did that. Stabbing. Why you want to do things of that nature. Also there, let's see here, that it was another knife fight as we look at Vicksburg. And, you know, there are so many, as you look at just talking out loud about these things, of when you get into the breakdown of what people do and the crimes that they do, and then you see on television everywhere that guns kill. Well, guns do only if someone is behind that gun. A gun can sit on a shelf all day. A knife can lay on a counter all day. It's not going to hurt anyone. It's people that will bad people will use anything they can to do bad things. Always remember that. I have never quite understood how gun manufacturers can be sued for something they had nothing to do with. I totally don't understand it. And you may disagree with me with that. If you do, fine. Tell me about it and the reason that you do. But I just don't understand that, how that can happen. And as we see court cases all across the United States, millions and millions being awarded, well, eventually, we're going to put companies out of business to where they're not made. Maybe that is what their end game is, to make it to where they just can't make a profit and they have to close their doors. I'm not sure. But it's definitely people behind everything that happens. There's people that just can't be among society. We all know that, and that's why prisons exist, to keep the others safe. That's my spill on that. Now, let's go to one of the headlines that happened yesterday to the governor's office. And I have a question about this. And those of you who paid close attention to this, the governor signed into state law yesterday benefits for families of first responders who died of COVID. And as you get into this, Friday marked a victory for first responders and their families as he signed this bill, House 77-9 bill, which ensured families of law enforcement officers and firefighters who passed away during the line of work and contracting COVID. What is not mentioned there, and I feel that there are first responders just like everybody else, the folks who drive ambulances, that was not mentioned in there. Did I miss something? Who knows a lot about this, who has studied this? I just don't see that mentioned. But they dealt with just as many people as the others did, of going to the emergency scene, their first responders putting them in an ambulance and taking them. I'm just not sure that was included. And if I'm wrong, please tell me. I've glanced over that several times and read it. I just don't see that anywhere in that bill where it protected those folks as well. But again, if you know more about that than me, please pass that along. Something to be concerned with, and a good question for the governor, if they were left out. Why? And it may be in there, and I just don't know it, but it certainly doesn't mention it in those opening headlines of what was passed. Yesterday, have y'all heard about this? Raymond, Mississippi, a detention center there, which is more or less a prison, fired at the prison. She was firing rounds at it, and she was taken out. No one was hurt at the prison. She shot at sheriff's deputies, and they took care of it. Wow. Not many details are coming out of that, from that also. Good morning, Kenneth Rowell. Glad to see you there. Thanks for checking in with us there. Let's see here. Other things that are going on as we look around the state. Columbus police officer has been arrested. What would a police officer be arrested for? Well, it happened with domestic violence. Brian Moore has been charged with domestic violence, dealing with someone in his home. Hate to see that. There were more fights, and y'all know this. If we had someone from law enforcement here, they would probably tell you that a lot of their time is spent going to homes on calls of people that are in arguments in homes that can't get along. That's sad. That is sad. What does it tell me? Maybe it's time to go somewhere on Sunday morning and sit down and say a little prayer. That's my thoughts. We'll see. Georgia. Boy, they're stepping out on a limb this morning as we go to some national headlines. They've passed a constitutional carry law that would abolish the requirement for background checks or permit to carry a handgun. We saw where Alabama earlier this week also passed it to where you don't have to go get a concealed permit. Good news for those who believe in the Second Amendment. Georgia, all it lacks now is getting a signature there from the governor, and that will be into law. We'll see that. Wow, oh wow. Good news on that one there. And I saw this yesterday, and I don't know if y'all noticed this when I posted this, about the camel. Let me put this up. Petting zoo. This is a picture of the camel here. I saw that, and it said, Campbell goes on rampage, and it made me smirk and thought, yeah, he went over and he hit a car. You know how you go through and you feed. But that's not the case. This is tragedy. 2 people in Tennessee were killed at a petting zoo. The camel went nuts. It killed a 40-something-year-old man and a 67-year-old man, I believe. Sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene, and they ended up having to put the camel down. I have never heard of that. Now, again, I've never been around camels other than seeing them in the movies, but keep that in mind the next time you go to a petting zoo. No one at this point knows what enraged them, but they went wild, killed 2 people. That's pretty serious there. Overnight, we did reports of a couple of gunshots in our area. Landmark Apartments just on North Hill Street. Seems that there was a disagreement, as I mentioned a little bit ago, where a girlfriend might have got upset at her boyfriend. Some shots were fired in there, and we just can't do that. That's against the law. Law enforcement intervened in that little situation. And also, we had a lady return home, been out of town. She noticed that her house had been damaged by, those folks that had been riding around town shooting up things. Don't know when it happened, but she discovered it when she got home. Those are the only remarks that I know of overnight that happened. Godspeed, no one was hurt. To my knowledge, the Meridian area, as we go back and look at the big pictures, there's been lots of gunshots since January. We watch this stuff. We keep track of it. There's only been 1 death in the Meridian area. Thank goodness, only 1. Bad that I even got to say 1, isn't it? It is. We're going to do weather next. Don't go anywhere. We'll tell you just how cold all of this is. That's all next here as we begin our morning here at Scotty Ray's Weather and the Weather Report.
Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rockhouse will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Talk to Mike if you've got a tree issue around your house. If it's a little too close, I've known Mike 30 plus. Good, honest guy. If you want somebody that's dependable, I'll put my name on the line for him. He's a good fellow there. He'll take care if you need any tree service done around your home there. Peggy Joyner said, thanks for speaking up for the ambulance people. I go back to that, what we talked about a while ago. You got to think about that. The ambulance people that jump out, they go into situations and they deal, as you well know, if someone's hurt, they deal with a lot of bodily fluids. They can get sick from that. I can't believe they were left out of that bill. Maybe the governor can do something if enough people say something to him. Let's hope so. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all check into that. Let's get into weather. Are you cold right now? If you think you're cold, you just wait. It's going to get worse. We're starting right now. We're at 34 degrees. That wind chill at 24. Temperatures are going to dive. It's not getting above 44 today. Tonight, it will be horribly cold. Now, let's talk about how to dress today before we get into all of this. Put on layers. It works better if you put on one big coat, but if you put on a shirt, a thermal shirt, and another coat, and then a bigger coat, you stay warmer if you've got to work outside in this. Everybody else will be trying out their gas logs and standing close to it or their firewood. Whichever way, make sure that you're warm. We'll talk more about that there. Let's see here. Let's pull it up and get into our forecast now as we take a look. Sunshine is expected today. A few clouds here and there, but 43 is what our radar system tells us for the high today. As we go to Philadelphia, y'all are going to get every bit of 41. Now, the closer that you go up through Noxapater and you'll go through Louisville, we're going to be sitting at about 39. By the time you make it to Mississippi State University, about 38. Chilly up there this morning. As we go south into Laurel, 46, Hattiesburg, 48. And on the west side of the state, we see that Vicksburg will hit 43. Now let's move across to that Bama state line as we look at what's going on there. 40 in Tuscaloosa today. Demopolis, y'all will see 42. Livingston University, those areas there at Livingston, 43 is what you'll get. Highway 17, 42, 41 right along in there if you live in there from Geiger to Panola and those areas across the state line. As we move into this is what is expected tonight. These are extremely cold conditions as we're looking at a level 3, and they've been saying this for several days. This will freeze pipes quickly. So you've got a few hours now during these daylight hours to prepare for what is coming if you have not secured your pipes and making sure that the wind can get to it, because we are going to have some breeze. We'll be several hours at around that 22 mark overnight. It will freeze. Trust me, it will be a run on PVC pipe tomorrow morning somewhere if people, as things unthaw. Make sure you've got all of your plants and vegetation covered. If you've got something outside, put something over it. If you got them on your front porch, wouldn't hurt if they're hanging plants, drag them in the laundry room, set them on the floor. Anything you can do to keep those alive. And I go back, and I know I sound like a broken record. Take care of your puppies and kitty cats. They're cold. Make sure that they got blankets and things also. We go across that Bama state line and look at that. They've got a freeze warning as well from Demopolis to Montgomery all the way over to Auburn, Alabama, where the toilet paper usually hangs in the trees, all the way up to Gadsden. Cold weather there. Make sure that you're prepared for this in that Bama side. As we look at the winds, this is what we've got today. Sustained winds of 15 to 20 miles an hour. We could get gusts today of 35 miles an hour. That's what we've got there. That was issued this morning at 3:33 from the National Weather Service. Now, as we looked at what was going on with power outages, and we'll check back on that in a moment, this is what happens when the trees and the wind start to blow. They come down on power lines, and, well, you're out for a little while. Just make sure that you've got your gas rolling. You got that all stocked up, and that you've got some blankets there in case it gets cold. Because 42 inside your house over a period of time of an hour or two without power will make your home cold. I'm not telling y'all anything that you don't know. I'm just doing a friendly reminder. We'll put it that way. As we go across to Bama again, there is a wind advisory in effect, 15 to 25, gusts to 40 across Alabama. Look at that. They put that out there this morning right at 3 a.m. to make sure that you knew about this on the Alabama side. As we move forward here, now I see a misspelled word that I didn't see earlier this morning. It'll be okay. We'll get over that. But this is what's coming tomorrow night. We're at a level 2 in the Meridian area, all through here, back to Jackson, a level 1 for tomorrow. Temps will fall to about 30 tomorrow night to 32 there for a long period of time. And we've got frost moving in for your Monday morning when you're getting up and going back to work there. Temps will fall to 33 in there in this area over here. Not quite below freezing, but right at it. Cause some damage as well, though, as we watch this. Now, what's going to happen? All of this heat wave will come across here. We're going to jump back up with temperatures. We'll look at that here in a moment. We're going to climb out of this cold weather. It will level back out in a few days. This is the 6 to 7 day outlook. Let's go ahead and pull this up this morning and take a look at what we've got listed for today of what to expect with this. Today's high 43 is what we're going to get. We're going to have gusts of about 30 miles an hour today. Very windy, so that takes it 43 and makes it, well, there's no other way to word it other than miserable. That's what we're going to have there. Widespread frost tonight with a low around 22 degrees. And we'll have some wind chills mixed in with this that will probably shake you up. Now, tomorrow as we wake up and get ready to go to church, widespread frost before 8 a.m. So you'll have to warm up your car to be able to see to make it into church. But we will see a bounce. Look at that. Almost 20 degrees different. 17 is pretty close there in between today and tomorrow. Back to 60. And as we roll into Monday, we'll see tremendous difference. 67. And by Thursday, we're back to that warm weather again. 77, 75 on Friday. We do have rain chances moving in there. Our biggest chance will be right there on Tuesday at that 90% chance. And then it looks like we might get something on Friday. Let's jump ahead and look into the rest of this. We're going to be nearing 80 degrees, look at this, by the 21st of March. It will definitely feel like spring. If you haven't fired up your lawnmower yet, it is just days away after this cold front passes. You've seen the green stuff poking up in the yard. It's coming, isn't it? Now, let's talk about fishing today. Do you plan on going? It's not for me, but there's a lot of folks that are dedicated fishermen that want to be there. We look at this brought to you by Chet's Paint and Body this morning. The best time to be there? Well, we'll be about 9 a.m. this morning till 11. You can be out and catch all you want in that cold weather. That north-northwest wind of 10 to 20 with gusts of 30 miles an hour is not for me, as I said, because everybody has been on a, like out at the dam, that wind coming off of it when it's windy. Whoo! You mix that with cold, but I promise you, there's folks that love fishing and will be there regardless. It's just not me. I want to say thank y'all for coming by and spending a little bit of time with us this morning as we gathered the headlines and things that happen in our community. Now, whether it's Meridian, whether it's Kemper County, if it's Neshoba, Winston, southward into Clark, Jasper, and all of these areas as we follow down, we like to keep you up to date with the very latest. If you see it, snap a picture, send us a message, and we'll see what we can find out about it to let you know and be informed of what happens in our community as we gather information throughout the day to keep you safe and, well, to get us all by. Every now and then we get some great news also. Thank y'all for being a part of this. It's a blessing, and we'll be back. Enjoyed each and every one of your comments. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll be back very soon with the latest of what happens in our community. God bless, and we'll see you soon from the Scotty Ray Report.
Scotty Ray's weather is brought to you by our following partners: